Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is Wednesday. We are into September. It's September 6th, 2023. That means it's material issues time. I'm Mark Hershberger of Pop Detective Records. I'm over here just a little bit east of Philadelphia, and it is early evening for us, but I'm going to get it right and say good afternoon to my good friend all the way out in Southern California, Mr. David Bash of the International Pop Overthrow Festival, which is going big guns right now. Evening, David. Afternoon, David. Morning.
Good evening, Mark. Hope you're doing well.
I'm great inside this nice record shop I'm sitting
I
in
know
right now.
it's amazing, but their Wi-Fi must be kind of weak because like half of you is disappearing at times.
The amazing
I
thing
don't get it.
is the guy back behind me. He hasn't moved in like 25 minutes.
Well, what can you tell me what that is on the wall over there? On the Jersey homegrown. It might be something I want.
This is a record store, I believe, in New Jersey, and it talks about Jersey homegrown artists, and then all kinds of stuff there. I forget
Yeah,
where
I know,
this is
but
at.
just walk over there and tell me what they have so I can.
I can't. I'm glued to my seat. I made a
Ah,
mistake with some super glue. I can't get up right now.
okay. No,
But I will
maybe
yell
later.
back to that guy and ask him to bring some over.
Yeah, please. I want to
Oh,
apologize. I want to apologize to everyone in advance for my weird-looking coloration above my eye. Um, as some of because of the heart attack I had 8 years ago, I've been on blood thinners, and if a little injury will cause a big bruise, and I probably just without knowing it, I probably just itched a little too hard up here and popped a little blood vessel, and now, boom, yeah.
mm.
Thankfully, it's not in my eye. It's just something above it. So it may take a little while to heal because that's another. I got a bruise when I was in Liverpool on my leg when I fell into into the back of that taxi, and that thing just my whole leg was completely black. Not my
You know what?
whole leg, but up to above my knee, even though the actual injury had taken place halfway down. But that's what happens.
You know what you
Um,
need? You need like a cool pair of rose-colored glasses.
I see the world through rose-colored glasses.
See, if you just have that, it
I
would look
see it
really
all,
cool.
to quote Scott McCarl. You see it
Hey,
all
and
through rose.
I wanted to. Scott McCarl is part of something I'm going to bring up here momentarily.
Oh, all right.
Let's just go with it right now. I want
Yeah,
to
why
tell you.
not?
I was looking at some research just for fun, and let me give you the top 10 episodes of Material Issues, the first 118, as far as views.
Oh, all
And
right. So
yeah, so
number of people who've watched. Is this including YouTube or?
this is just on YouTube. This is just
Oh,
on
it's only
YouTube.
YouTube.
It's
All
not
right.
Facebook. This is just, I'm sorry, I should have said this is YouTube views.
All right.
First of all, Jason Faulkner, that show that we did blows away everybody.
Oh,
Uh,
was it?
yeah,
Okay.
that's our overall number
I
one.
thought that was I was thinking another one.
It's Twilly number one.
Hi, John Borak.
So Faulkner's number one. Coming in at number two is Dave Gregory of XTC. That was a great episode.
Okay.
He's not too
Certainly
far.
that makes sense.
But our number three episode is Scott McCarl. That's the Scott
Oh,
McCarl
wow.
episode. Came in number three as views on YouTube right now.
That's really great.
And we follow that with Tot Taylor. That was a great interview. If
It was.
nobody's
We were
seen
supposed to
that,
get him on a second time. We need to follow up with him.
follow up with Tot. Yeah.
He only got through like half of his career.
Then our number five episode was last week's episode with Abigail DeVoe.
Now,
She comes in at
she
number
has
five.
she has plenty of devoted followers.
I want copyright.
She needs to, yeah. Yeah. Well, I coined it, so
That's right.
uh, she
Coin,
need,
copyright.
she definitely needs to create a following of devoted fans.
Hey, Tim,
Oh, nice.
please send David a pair of rose-colored glasses.
Really? Yeah.
Andy, greetings.
Good evening, Andy.
Evening to you, Andy. Yes, afternoon to David again. Where are we at? Number six was the Billy Palicelli episode from
The only
Artful
one
Dodger.
I wasn't able to attend at all.
Yep. It was a great one, though. And I mention these things so everybody can go back and see all this stuff in the archives. We've got a lot of great interviews there. Number 7 was the Cal Sills, Bob, Susan, and Paul.
That was a
Great
year.
episode.
That was a year ago next week because
A
I
year
did that
ago.
one from Arlington.
Awesome. Number 8 is one of our favorite, yours and mine, Ms. Amy Taylor comes in at number 8.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Amy Taylor at number
Good for
8.
him.
And then number 9 of the top 10 list is our very first episode. We had no guests. It was just you and I. It's probably because the episode's been around longer than any other episode is why it comes in at number 9. But hey, the number 1 episode. And then rounding out the top 10 is the Ted Ansani and Mike Zelenko Material Issue episode.
Well, I'm glad that made the top 10.
But right now, it's just the top 10 right now. Of course, we've been putting a push on for people to go over to YouTube and subscribe. We're get some more subscribers over there because the more subscribers that we have, the more we can advertise the thing and get it out to more people. So we got more guests that want to be on. But yeah, some great stuff.
That's really cool.
Full top 10 list.
I would not have guessed a few of those for sure.
Yep. Now there were a lot.
Jason being number 1 certainly makes sense. Yeah. We'll see how Roger Manning does in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Obviously that it's going to generate a lot of watchers.
But I mean, there were a lot of episodes that were bubbling right under number 10. There was a lot of just numbers that were right there. But that's where it comes in. So if you haven't seen them, materialissues.com is YouTube, all archived here on the Facebook page. Check out a lot of those episodes because they're really great episodes.
They are. I want to go back to something that you said, and I have a degree in journalism, and I've taken some classes as a grad student in linguistics, but this is always a little confusing. You said the first episode was devoted to just you and I, and I would say it's just you and me, and I'm not quoting Chicago here. As I understand it, and this is always it's always it's a bit of it's a bit vague in terms of explanation, but as I understand it, if you as being either me or I are the subject of the sentence, then it's I. If you're the object of the sentence, then it's me. Another rule of thumb is take out the you part. And what would you put there? Would you put me and I or I? So if it's you and I went to the store today. Now, would it be you and me went to the store today? No, because if you take out the you, I went to the store today. Fits perfectly. But if you say something like the episode featured you and me, if you say you and I and you take out the you, it's the episode featured I don't know. They were great, Barry. They were great.
Good question, Barry.
And by the way, their name is Pickle, not Pikel. Just for people who are paying attention. But anyway, so, and again, in the first example, we'd be the subject, and the second example would be the object. But what do you think? I mean, if there's anyone out there who has a definitive answer, I always go by the rule of thumb of just taking the you out and what would fit better, I or me, and I use that. But that may not be the case all the time.
Well, I mean, I always look at April Wine. They said just between you and me, and that would be the correct way.
Yeah, and I think it would.
But I just think growing up, I've just always said you and I, Well,
again, if you start a sentence with it, then it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. He and I went to
the store, but the store was a bad experience for you and me.
For you and I. I don't know. That's crazy.
Anyway, if anybody out there has a definitive answer, let us know.
Hey, does Pickle have an album out?
Yes, they do.
Did I haven't seen the
Music
front
for
cover.
Girls, it's called.
I haven't seen the front cover, but are they inside a jar with like juice and called "We've Been Pickled"? Or I mean, come on. How about use guys? Yeah, that's here in New
Use
Jersey.
guys always works.
Only when you're in New Jersey. Hey, use guys.
Not New York.
Maybe New York and New Jersey. Yeah, only on
New
the
York,
new side.
not New York City. If you go
Yeah,
upstate in New York, then
yeah.
you're talking about rural, and it's a totally different. You might as well be in you might as well be in rural Mississippi at that point.
Yeah.
And some of those, I've been through them. Anyway,
But,
yeah. What was it? Yeah. I mean, all joking aside, Pickle is a great group, and that album is wonderful. Yeah. That's a bit of a reach, John Borat. Depends how
hey,
posh you are. Well, maybe in the UK the rules are different. I don't even know.
I still like It's a Big Deal. That'd be a great album title. Pickle. It's a big deal. We're sort of a big deal. I'm sorry, guys. We're not making fun of the name. We're just having fun. We're having fun with it, you and I.
Yeah, I'm definitely half sour from all of this.
Let's stop while we're behind. No.
Yeah, right.
Hey, you and I got involved in that bonkers card break the other week. It was kind of cool. I picked up, of course, I had two in the break. Tim lives in upstate New York, and David isn't wrong. Yeah, Tim.
No, David.
I had the Ed Bailey card was one of them that I got.
That's a nice card, yeah, and it looks like it's not in bad shape.
It's not in bad shape. It's not great. It's not graded, but it's not bad shape. But then I got very lucky, and I got the PSA 4 Mini Minoso.
That's a Hall of Famer, so that's got to be.
It's a Hall of Famer,
and it's graded. So you made out well.
I did. You got lucky. There was, I didn't expect it. It just kind of happened, and it was kind of nice.
I got a Joe Nuxhall card, not quite a Hall of Famer,
and not bad.
And I don't have it with me, but yeah, it was it's probably a 1, possibly a 2, but I'd say more like a 1. And he threw in a Nolan Ryan Records card to his consolation prize, but yeah, whatever. It was essentially a raffle.
Cot or coot? Come on.
Cot deal or coot veal?
Coot veal.
I don't know if there was a cot deal in 53. I know there was in 54. We'd have to look it up, see if there was a cot deal in 53. No, and again, that dovetails nicely with somebody who's going to be a guest of ours later on.
Oh, yeah.
Remember Cot Deal, Coot Veal, and Spook Jacobs, and Whammy Douglas?
Yeah, we just booked a great guest. Yeah, we just booked a great guest for October 4th. It doesn't matter. We don't have to wait to the end of the show to talk about it, but we got a great guest.
John Borak's here. He needs to know this, actually.
Yeah, John Borak, one of the co-authors of this book, The Great American Baseball Card Flipping, Trading, and Bubblegum Book. This is my original copy from 1975. It's almost falling apart, but right here, the second co-author, Mr. Fred Harris. No one knows where Brendan Boyd is. He's disappeared off the planet. But Fred Harris is going to be our guest October 4th, co-author.
That is so cool. That really
and
is
cool. This is one of my all-time favorite baseball-related baseball card books. I probably read this 20 times as a teen. Love it.
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to be a big baseball fan to enjoy that book. It talks about, for the most part, it talks about various baseball cards and the author's experience either collecting them or watching the people play or just some anecdotes about them. And it's not all good players.
No,
the most fun entries are the ones for the scrubs.
They even had
who didn't really have much of a career.
I'll tell you what, like something like the Ferris Fane card or the Gus Zernial, where he has all the baseballs on the back.
The Gus Zernial card is really cool.
Right here, there it is. It's got all the ways. So I got to try to.
Those records are in the way somehow, Mark.
You see all the baseballs.
Yeah,
that was one of the coolest cards. But yeah, it's great.
Is he saying the A's are a big zero?
Yeah.
They were at that time. He wasn't wrong.
But yeah, it's gonna be a great interview. He's he's written a couple other things, and he's excited about being on the show, and I'm excited to have him. So we're gonna have a lot of fun with that. It's October 4th.
I have an anecdote about Gus Zernial, by the way, that wasn't in the book. He very well could have changed Joe DiMaggio's life forever, and having nothing to do with baseball, because I want to say the beginning of the 52 season, which would be the year that card represents, he posed with Marilyn Monroe.
Mm.
As he said, I did not mind my assignment that day. But he got to, I guess he got to like hold her from behind as she was wearing a halter top while he was showing her how to swing a bat.
And he died happy.
Well, apparently that picture made it to the papers. And Joe DiMaggio, there you go. Joe DiMaggio saw the picture and he got really angry, and he said, how come a busher like that gets to pose with such a beautiful woman? And I think that was impetus for DiMaggio to end up meeting Marilyn Monroe.
There you go.
Ultimately, they got married, of course.
Yep.
But if not for Zernial, maybe that never would have happened.
Do you believe that
you learn so much valuable stuff here on Material?
You do, and I think everybody knows that Hugh Hefner is in the crypt right above Marilyn Monroe. But I wonder if the rumors are true that he wanted himself buried face down. Right? Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure he did. I'm sure he got his way with that.
Sure, he got his way. Well, I mean, if it's your crypt, you can go in up. You can go in way you want.
Whatever.
That's pretty.
I mean, I don't. Yeah, I don't think the funeral home minded putting him upside down. Whatever, that's what he wanted. I'm sure he paid very handsomely for it. So
oh Lord, my Lord, yes.
How about that?
But yeah, no, it's good. It's good. It's gonna be a great interview with Fred Harris. So we got a bunch of stuff coming up, and we'll talk about the other other things we got coming up towards the end of the show. But we got some great shows the next 2 weeks. So
yeah,
open up your calendars, everybody.
Another potential really good one, due in large part to a reissue that has just come out, which I'm not going to talk about because I want to wait until the guests. I can announce for sure. I think he's going to do it. It's just a matter of when he's available.
And talking about cards, I know we've both loved cards for a long time, and I know you still collect certain sets and things. I've been watching every once in a while on TikTok and things. You'll see some of these guys who have very popular channels, and they're doing box breaks. They're opening up the latest Topps Chrome or whatever it is.
For those people who don't know much about baseball cards, and I'm sure some of our UK people are one of them. What happens is, let me see if I can explain this as easily as possible. The cards these days are mostly sold in boxes, and those boxes contain packs of cards in them. So sometimes 20, sometimes 40, depending. Certain cards are designed to be rarer than others. They have autographs on them, or they're just made in very small quantities. So what people like to do is they like to buy boxes and hope that they find some of those rare cards in them, which would make, of course, the box way more valuable than what they paid. So people like to do what's known as box breaks, where on YouTube or wherever, they open the box and they show people what they got in there. And they're hoping for what they call a great pull, which could be something sexual, but in this case, it's not. A pull means basically taking a card from a pack and pulling it out and hoping, and a great pull would be one of those very rare cards that we're talking about. So it's all really about that to them. They're essentially gamblers, the people who buy boxes.
Yeah,
I buy complete sets. I want to have the whole set of whatever year we're talking about. I'll pay more money to do that.
Right, but on the other side of the coin, there you then don't have a chance at a super rare card, an autograph card, or whatever. You're buying the complete set without all the added benefit.
Well, it depends. I won't have a chance at a rare card or an autograph card, but I'll be guaranteed to get certain stars.
Yeah,
I'll be guaranteed to get certain rookies who may become eventually great players. So
But
that's a guarantee. You buy a box, you may not get any of those.
but here's what I was getting at. There's so many of these box break programs that are very popular, and I think what saddened me is that they're ripping packs open and they're basically going and throwing
Yeah, right.
all the
Exactly.
cards away and saying, "Oh, this one's decent." And they're not enjoying the cards. They're not enjoying
Right.
the backs and fronts and the pictures and the stats and whatever. And I got to be honest, when I was young, I would go down to the local newsstand, and there'd be the different packs manufacturers of cards, and I would buy my pack or two that my parents gave me 50 cents to go get some packs. And I would try to start my collection that way. Later on, when I was in my late teens, my parents for Christmas would get me the whole set of tops. That was my
When they
Christmas
finally
gift
started making them,
when they finally started making
which
them.
they
But
weren't doing when we were young kids. Yeah.
when we were real young, yeah. But I'll tell you what, I mean, as cool as it was, I think at the time, I look back on it now, and it really took away a lot of the fun of trying to gather.
Buying sets. Yeah.
Yeah, the buying
Oh,
sets
for
was like,
no doubt about it. Yeah.
here's the set, and then it was like all those times I made the trek a block down to the newsstand with 50 cents to get a couple packs and be excited about what you got or disappointed. All that was out the window because my parents got me the set for Christmas, and it was like, well, okay.
Well,
And
that's what Boyd and Harris talk. One of the things they talk about in their book
yeah,
about going to the local 5 and dime store, buying some packs. Just can't, the anticipation. What's going to be in there?
yeah,
Besides
yeah,
a piece of gum, of course. What's going to be in there, and then talking about mostly disappointment because
yeah,
they got players who weren't very good, that weren't desired, that they couldn't trade for other players because nobody cared.
yeah.
So yeah, I agree. Buying sets definitely would, for as a kid especially, take the joy out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something that Boyd and Harris didn't have a choice in because back then they were definitely not doing sets.
Yeah.
You had to be a big shot to call Tops and say, "Can you put a set together for me?"
Right.
And they
Yeah.
weren't going to do it for some kid who called up.
Yeah.
If
It's
Joe
interesting.
DiMaggio called and said, "I want a set of 1953," they were going to give it to him.
Mm-hmm. And nowadays, the people who can afford to put together a 1953 set of decent quality,
Oh, geez.
or the granddaddy of them all. What do they call what do they call the T206? What do they call that set? There's a specific name for that, but 528 cards.
I'm not sure what the exact name is, but it's
They
got
they
the
just
Wagner card in it. That's all
yeah.
everybody knows. We
Well, it's
should probably.
interesting.
We're digressing a bit, and I'm sure some of our listeners are saying, this is
What the
all
heck? Well,
nonsense.
this is material issues. I was having an issue with it, and we had to talk about the materials, which are the baseball cards. So
No, for sure.
yeah,
But the people who buy boxes, they're not in it for the love of it. They're just gamblers.
yeah.
All they want to do is get cards they can sell for more money and make money on the boxes.
And it's even trickled down to young kids now.
I know.
They're looking for the chase cards.
I know.
Which is
They're
which is
looking for the
the big
great pulls. Yeah.
the great pulls. It's did the packs bubble? Yeah, they did come with bubble
They
gum.
did
And
that when we were growing up. Well, there were actually two kinds of packs. If you got a wax pack, which had the picture, which had a picture on it, on the pack itself, that would have bubble gum in it. If you got a cellophane pack, usually they came in groups of 3, holding 10 cards each. Then those would not have gum.
Yeah, but it was funny because the gum was always in the back of the pack against the back of the last card, and if you were lucky, the gum didn't stick to the card, and then all you had then was just like the powdery residue that covered the gum that you had to wipe off the back card. But like there's collectors now who will pay big money for a wax pack from the 50s, 60s, and
that's unopened. Yes,
it's unopened, and the gum could be ruining an extremely valuable card.
Well, but they're probably never going to open it though.
Cheers, my friend.
Is that Keith by chance? Facebook user? Keith Raddick from the Klaatu group that you were part of. He and I went to college together at Syracuse, which is where I started college. And over the years we reconnected, but we lost touch. for the past like 15 years.
Yeah.
And I saw he had joined Material Issues, so I contacted him and we spoke on the phone last night.
Oh, cool. Getting back to music, speaking of Klaatu, I'm a member of some Facebook group about Exotica and all the lounge kind of music. And somebody posted 347 EST and said, "This is such a great album." Of course, the follow up was, "What does that have to do with Exotica?" But the conversation went on and on and on about how great the album was. So
I don't know. Anus of Uranus kind of has that Exotica feel, doesn't it?
yeah, or Dr. Marvelo would have a little bit of ding,
Yeah, I can
ding,
see
ding,
it.
ding, 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 ding. So that's interesting. Every once in a while, Klaatu still raises its head. And
Let's talk about some music so that we don't lose
yeah, that's why I was trying to get back in with Klaatu. We were talking music.
Okay.
So
I've got a few things to talk about here, some
yeah.
reissues, and trying to think of.
Loosely
Andy, were those football players, or were those non-sports related cards?
They were English dentists. That was just a joke, Andy. I'm having fun with English dentists.
Oh, I'm sure Andy doesn't mind.
I'm
actually curious because I know there were what we call soccer, of course. I know
that
there were and still are cards made of soccer players from all around the world.
Yeah.
I think I even bought a set one time when I was in Liverpool just because.
Ah, cool.
But anyway, let's talk about some music here.
Yeah, how was real quickly? How you just finished IPO Vancouver?
IPO Vancouver was a lot of fun. It always is. It feels like family up there. I've done it there since 2006. I've gotten to know a lot of people who are part of the scene, and many of them play every year, which is nice. And they're obviously very talented. And we have some new people too every now and then. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. And Lana Lou's, which is a venue we use, it's a really cool place, and the owner Lana is really nice. Animals Military, yeah. I'm sure Beatles cards also, which we had in the States, and they're worth a lot of money now.
Dusty Spins, thank you.
Is that somebody you know?
No, it's new to me. I think
I'm not sure either. Thank you very much, Dusty.
Nom de plume, but thank you, Dusty. Cool.
Anyway, so Vancouver was fun. Plus, just about every year up there, my birthday falls on one of the dates. So we had a birthday celebration for me on the final night. Rena went and got a cake from the local supermarket. Great cake. We had enough people there that.
Cool. Yeah,
well, Dusty must be in great shape if they're spinning.
And are we allowed to say what your age is? Are you vanity about that?
No. I've made it very, very public. I just turned 65.
65, but you're not quite old enough to get the full Social Security yet, so you have to keep doing IPO
I'm going to defer all that stuff till when I really need it, because otherwise I'm just going to spend it, and I don't want to do that. So yeah, I haven't filed for Social Security or Medicare yet, for that matter. I think there is a time limit, but I'm not there yet. But eventually, I have to, if I want it, I'm going to have to sign up for it. Yeah. I mean, this was a kind of a bittersweet birthday. I'm not one to be too tied to ages and what they mean, but for some reason 65, it's really your first landmark birthday since you're 21, because everything else, I mean, the fives, the zeros, whatever, but 65 is a change. It's a legal change that the only other one of which takes place at 21. So
think of all the discounts you get now. Senior citizen discounts.
Rena reminded me of that. I guess that's a good thing.
Does Freak Beat Records give a discount to senior citizens?
You'll be sure I'm going to ask someone.
My AARP card get me a discount on box sets?
I sure hope so.
Rena didn't get you a new watch this year, huh? up in
Well, she
Vancouver?
may have without knowing it, because I actually ordered a watch yesterday. No, this morning, and that may end up being my birthday present. Because yeah, we didn't get to go to Momentum in Vancouver, which is
Free coffee at 55.
really,
There we go.
is that right? Okay. Speaking of watches, here's my watch of the day. Whoa, the Pagani Design Hulk,
It's a Rolex.
which is, it's not a Rolex. It's an homage to Rolex,
Yeah.
costing a hell of a lot less. I think I paid maybe $100 for this, and not only not only is it an homage to a very popular Rolex model, but I think it's better because
I'd much rather have that than a Rolex.
No, I'll tell you why it's better though. Because the Rolex, the bezel and the dial color are exactly the same, while this has a different shade as that. I think it looks nicer.
Hey, it's all personal preference, you know.
Well, no, I'd rather have the Rolex, obviously.
Now that the watch you had on a couple weeks ago, not to get into watches and things too deeply here, but the one that had the push buttons on top, who made that again?
This is a German company called Junghans.
Junghans.
I'd actually gone to a watch store in Beverly Hills with the intention of buying something else. When I saw it, it just didn't appeal to me as much as it had in the pictures. So I thought, well, let's just look around and see if anything else appeals to me. And I saw that, and it was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
I like that because it looks like a little stopwatch.
It looks like a little stopwatch, and I love the yellow and black. It just it works with a lot of stuff that I wear.
How do you spell that again? That brand?
Jung, like Carl Jung.
Yeah, that's another reason you got it.
Or Neil Young, if you're talking about Teenage Fan Club. Yeah, JUNGHANS.
Ah, okay.
And this one is called The Competition. It's modeled after 1972 racing watch.
Yeah, very cool. I like it. I like it a lot.
All right. All right. So let's talk about some music. I'll preface it by saying, in 1975, American Top 40 did their replayed their first ever show, which it was the 5th anniversary of that show, and they wanted to replay it. It was July 4th, 1970, I believe. And so I was there, cassette deck at the ready, and I taped the whole thing. Now, fortunately, I have a CDs that a local guy made for me of it, so it sounds a lot better than it did. But at around, I think it was number 37, I start hearing they talk about this band who has kind of a funny name, and I start laughing a little bit at the name, and then I hear the song, and about 7 seconds into it, I hear this combination of guitar notes that I'd never heard before, and I was just floored. I fell in love right then, and it certainly is still one of my favorite songs of 1970, and probably somewhere in my top 200 ever, which is saying a lot with all that I know.
Let me guess. Can I guess what song it was? Can I guess what song?
Well, we've already talked about it, but you may still guess.
Was it "My Ding-a-Ling" by Chuck Berry?
No, that is not from 1970. But no, it is not. It is "Go Back" by Krabby Appleton. And this is a new reissue on Grapefruit Records. Probably the best label other than Omnivore. Go Back, the anthology. Go Back being the song that I'd heard. I was just, again, if you think of the song, it opens with, I think, I don't know if it's a bass line and a drum, and then, or maybe a guitar lick. I can't remember. But then, like 7 seconds into it, all of a sudden, this combination of notes that 2 guitars were playing, I would imagine, was just absolutely irresistible. So this is an anthology that has their 2 albums, Krabby Appleton and Rotten to the Core, and some bonus tracks, mostly singles, the single mixes of songs on the albums, and a couple of alternative versions. I really love. I mean, the second album's a little bit more rock. The first album is definitely has a lot of pop feel. They remind me a lot of Chilliwack, the
Oh
Canadian
yeah,
band who was around in the '70s. Also, it's definitely rock, but with great pop melodies and lots of harmonies. And Go Back, of course, is an up tempo track, but they had some really cool ballads on this album as well, or on the
does
first album as well, like the one I'm about to play. So this is
nice.
called "To All My Friends" by Krabby Appleton. If you want it, no.
Just to find and the good understand the meaning of love, yeah. And the answer after everything's falling and so is a world full of people to go. They push and they shove, yeah. But every once in a while, someone knows how to smile. You can tell. Someone give me a hand and I'm taking a stand just to sell. I wanna give thanks to all my friends. I wanna give thanks to all my friends. I wanna give thanks to all my friends. I'll be with them to the end. In the
Anyway, that's one of the tracks on it. There's definitely some rockers as well as ballads. Nice mix. Main man of Krabby Appleton is Michael Fennelly, who was also in the Millennium, who had that great psych soft pop album called Begin. I think his voice is more suited to what Krabby Appleton does, so I'm glad
Right.
he had the chance to form his own band and write songs that fit his key and his timbre. But yeah, this is a really cool anthology. I would definitely recommend it. Krabby Appleton, Go Back.
And
Um,
while we're talking about it, let me just try something. Can you hear this if I play this?
no,
Does that come through?
no, it is not.
Yeah, I guess when I try to play something outside of it, it just doesn't come through. But all right, I'm listening to Go Back right now. It does start with the bass line and the drums. Doom, 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 doom. Yeah, kind of like Indian Lake.
Yeah, kind of. And then of course the beginning of All of My Friends sounds like Come and Get It. But
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
so there's a chance Michael may have heard Come and Get It by the time he wrote this, but I have a feeling he wrote it prior. I mean,
Yeah, cool.
it's not like it's a very inventive riff.
Great,
you know,
great reissue though. Grapefruit does great job with
they
reissuing
do,
this
and so
stuff. Yeah.
as does another Cherry Red subsidiary, Esoteric.
Yep.
And I think we talked about Stackridge Friendliness a few episodes ago, but this is their follow-up album, which Esoteric just reissued, The Man in the Bowler Hat, which is called Pinafore Days in the U.S.
Oh,
But I
nice.
think I'm pretty sure it's the same track listing, but for whatever reason they changed the title. Cover art's the same, but title different. Anyway, in the UK, which is where Stackridge is from, it's The Man in the Bowler Hat. This features the album on disc one and a bunch of BBC recordings that they did on disc two, and many of them are from the Friendliness album prior. So that's very cool. But this album was produced by George Martin, and of course, when people hear George Martin, they think of the Beatles, as they should. But George Martin did a lot of other stuff, and two of the best things he ever did was this album and "Holiday" by America.
Oh, yeah.
Another great album. But anyway,
Yeah.
let me play a track from this. It's the opening track. It's certainly a big favorite song of mine. And I mean, this is about as pure as pop could possibly get. It's called Fundamentally Yours. Yeah, it's great.
Time to write a line to someone writing you. I remember slipping sideways, falling into you. Oh, how can it be that words can make you see the highest stand that hangs in the hallway, changing the size that morning bright to satisfy your friends. You overstate your undercount to start a trend. Flying home to work alone on building schemes and loans. I remember holding horses, catching sun and clothes. Oh, how can it be that words can make you see the lampshade that lights up the laughing, changing the sides that morning bright to pacify my friends. You overpay your underdogs, the hearts you pretend.
Anyway, that's about as pop as you can get. And
Yep.
James Warren had such a pretty voice. I mean, he still does. He and the two main men of this band, James Warren and Andy Davis, went on to form the Corgis. I'll say it right this time. And they
Hey,
the
thank you, Paul.
Oh, from Paris, France.
Awesome.
Wow.
Middle of the
Oh, okay.
road.
You're just spinning elbows. Well, we love that, Paul. Thank you.
Awesome, Paul. Thank you. Yeah. We're just having fun tonight. For those that are just checking in, it's just David and I. There's no guests this evening, and we do have those nights where we don't have guests, but we always have a really cool trivia type thing called Stump the Bash. We'll have that coming up. People enjoy that. But next a few weeks we have incredible guests. So stick around at the end of the show when we tell you who's coming up. You're not going to want to miss them. But go ahead, David.
Right. Anyway, what I was saying is, so James Warren and Andy Davis, James Warren has reformed the Corgis, and he still has a very pretty voice, but
not as good as Ann B. Davis, though.
No, true. So anyway, this is a great reissue.
Yeah, it's awesome.
A really nice combination of the album and BBC track. So The Man in the Bowler Hat, the UK title, reissued on Esoteric Records.
Nice.
Here's another one, and if John Borak is still listening,
yeah,
Everybody's Got to Learn Sometime was their big hit in the US, and I imagine the UK as well. They had a few other hits in the UK but didn't chart in the US. But they were a great band, as was Stackridge. Anyway, our good pal John Borak wrote some of the liner notes to this wonderful reissue on Gem Records. Bobby Sutcliffe, Only Ghosts Remain, his debut record, after having been in the Windbreakers and then ultimately back in the Windbreakers. This is about as perfect college radio pop as you can get. And you not only do you get the album, but you get a whole bunch of home demos and things from other albums. It's pretty cool. It really is. And Gem doesn't generally deal in reissues, but they picked a good one to emphasize this time. I would highly recommend it if you like melodic jangle pop, because this is about as jangly as it gets. And inside you have reminiscences from different people, including his partner in the Windbreakers, Tim Lee, who has played IPO many times, John M. Borak, as we mentioned, and Howard Wolfling, who I haven't read his liners yet, I have to admit, but he had some involvement with this reissue. So anyway, that's definitely something out there for you for reissues. Now for some new stuff. Oh, that's I read that it was demos, but I guess they
Hmm.
sound really good. That's got to be John Borak. He would know.
Yeah. Oh, cool. It's nice that
Anyway, it's a great album.
John got to write the lineups
It's,
too. Some of
it's pop. Buy it. That's an inside joke between me and
the lineups.
John,
It's
or should I
pop
say
by it.
John and me? Great band from Chicago. John and me. Great band from Chicago. Rolling Numbers have a new
Oh
album
yeah.
called Killer Machines. They have a track from it on this year's International Pop Overthrow compilation, which, by the way, is going to be, yeah, there you go. Its official release is Friday, September 8th. So if you pre-ordered it, you're going to have it pretty soon. If you didn't pre-order it, that's right, go to Omnivore Recordings website and do it there. But you'll have it real soon if you don't already.
Look at that! Look at that beautiful! Look at that beautiful setup of 3 CDs.
3 CDs with great artwork by Steve Stanley, of course.
Steve Stanley,
a whole bunch
great artwork.
of liner notes, info in each band, and it's definitely reasonably priced. I'm biased, but I think if you're a pop fan, you'll really love it.
Yeah, it's essentially like 2 weeks of one coffee in the morning of your time to just get the IPOs. 3 CD set. It's fantastic. It really is fantastic. Well done.
Thank you.
Done. Well done.
Anyway, Killer Machines is the new Rolling Numbers album. It features the lead vocals of Bob Vasilou and Jessica Hornston. So it's really good male-female pop. There's some Fleetwood Mac influence on there. There's definitely a lot of power pop, but it's melodic as hell. And it's just, yeah, it's about, from this day and age, it's about as good as pop music gets. I think this will probably be in my top 10 somewhere this year.
And did they get the title from the Cheap Trick song?
I gotta think they did, yeah.
You would have to
especially being a Chicago band and Cheap Trick being from Rockford, which is a suburb. Yeah, you'd think so.
That's one of the greatest lines,
Rolling Numbers, rock and roll.
From my young age that I remember is
got
Rolling
my
Numbers,
Kiss
rock and roll,
out.
got my Kiss records.
See, now if Kiss was really power pop, he would have said Rolling Numbers, power pop, and got my Kiss records out. But no, because Robin Zander and Rick Nielsen knew that Kiss was not power pop.
Well, the lyric really should have been Rolling Numbers, rock and rollin', and Kiss is not power pop.
Yeah, there you go.
That would have been, but
I think
that's just revisionist history.
Yeah, right, exactly. So at that time, it wasn't a big argument like it is now. Amazing.
I love it. I love it.
A really fun band from Seattle are the Tripwires. And you don't see this happening too often, but they actually released two albums in one. Do It Some More and Go Party Tape on
cool.
the back. Yeah, it's 2 CDs, each in its own pocket. And the first album, Do It Some More, is an album of originals, and in Go Party Tape is an album of covers, and it's pretty cool stuff. Actually, they're a lot of fun. If I could recommend a band to go see live, the Tripwires would certainly be one of them, because they are very rollicking, and these songs are just catchy as all hell. I'm not sure what "oh" means, but thank you. Especially the originals, Do It Some More, are great. You may remember the band The Model Rockets.
Oh yeah.
They were a great pop band with a lot of rock and roll going on too. That featured the same main guys, John Ramberg and Johnny Sangster. So yeah, this is what they're doing now, and I would definitely go check it out. Something on the Think Like a Key label, and some might argue that this is a reissue, but I'm counting it as a new album because it was released in very, very limited numbers a while back, and so most people, including me, didn't even know about it. Band called St. John's Wood Affair on Think Like a Key, Roger Houdale's label. Great Great label. Mostly a kind of a good combination of reissues and originals, and not original reissues and contemporary. This album is called, well, it's self-titled, I guess. Very this this had a bunch of guys from the '60s who got together in 2010 and formed this band and decided to record a bunch of new songs, and just really good psychedelic pop.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, as you might imagine by looking at the cover, the kind of dripping motif they have there. Very, very, very cool psychedelic pop, with really nice lead vocals. And yeah, by Keith Smart, the main guy who also produces it. And again, if you're into psych pop, go to the Think Like a Key website and order this.
That's cool. Wow.
Good stuff. Here's a band from the UK called The Sound of Pop Art, or for whatever reason, they're just using the acronym TSOPA. And this is a new album called, what is it called actually? Chris Free? I can't even tell. and the disc is in here.
We'd love to recommend it, but we have no idea what it's called.
Yeah, it looks like it says, oh, Chris Free is the main guy.
REA?
No, CHRISFREE, Chris Free. He's
Chris
the
Free.
main guy. So maybe this is just self-titled.
Okay.
And he's kind of a one-man band, although he did have help. So I think when they play live, they're actually a full band. Oh, including Andy Lewis from the band Spearman, the really cool mod band from the UK. Anyway, if you remember the Junipers from about 15 years ago, they had that great album called Cut Your Key, which was awesome 60s soft pop influence. Yeah, you should look for that one, Mark, if you don't know it. Cut Your Key by the Junipers. It sounds like the Millennium a lot, and Sagittarius, who we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
This album kind of follows in its footsteps. It's really cool, very soft pop influence, nice harmonies, just beautiful melodies. Yeah, really nice stuff. I can't recommend it more.
Nice.
Well, I probably could, but I'll keep it at this. It's worth getting. So yeah, check this out. TSOPA, an England and June production. Okay, well, that's probably when they recorded it. So we've got that. Next we have, well,
if anybody wonders what David does with his time all day, I mean, just look at all the new CDs he's got in.
Yeah,
there's a lot of music to listen to.
It's true. Other than taking naps, it's just listening to music. Now that I'm 65, I'm actually entitled to some naps.
He puts the headphones on and falls asleep, but absorbs it all. That's
you
how
ever
he knows
notice,
this stuff.
Speaking of that, I don't know if you feel this way, but if you're listening to an album when you're falling asleep, and it's an album that you already like, it just sounds that much better as you're drifting on.
Oh, sure. I was just doing that the other day. I loaded a bunch of things onto a little MP3 player with Bluetooth headphones on, and I drifted. I think I drifted away to. I think it was the Rooks.
Drift Away by
Dobie Gillis. No, Dobie Gray. Dobie Gillis. I think it was the Rooks' first album, which I love, and I don't know why, but I drifted away to that. And you're right. It just sounds so good. And
yeah, that's for sure.
But it's true. It's true. And I love doing that. It's one of my favorite things to do is just kind of drift away to a great album.
Oh, it's wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's another lost pleasure. I think that a lot of people don't, younger people today don't.
They probably don't
do that. But
no, most of the younger people, they drift off to, let's see, ecstasy or whatever other drug that the kids are taking. But what was I?
I thought you were talking raspberries. Ecstasy.
Oh, that's interesting. There's a new power pop compilation coming out on one of the Cherry Red labels, and it's supposed to be American power pop. I
saw that.
Of course, not every band on there is American. Calling Badfinger American just because they happen to have one American member at that time, that's really pushing it.
And some of the songs on there would be questionable power pop.
Well,
Great.
there's that too. Yeah, quite a few. Well, I mean, it's a great collection, and
Sure it is. Yeah.
my good friend Greg Harridges, his band Athenor, had a bunch of reissues a few years ago. They have a track on there, which I'm really happy about.
Oh
They
yeah.
also have a track. They also have a track on this year's IPO CD.
But it's a great collection.
It's a great collection, but why did they bring it up? Oh, I brought it up because the band you just spoke about is actually listed on there as the Raspberries.
Yeah.
Now, during their career, they never were the Raspberries, just as Bangles never really were the Bangles
Yeah.
until recently on some of their albums, where they probably just threw up their hand and said, "All right, you want us to be the Bangles? Fine, we're the Bangles." But Raspberries were never. But for whatever reason, I think probably because they sounded so 60s.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
That's such a strong Beatles influence. People wanted to put the before their name.
Mhm.
In 72, having the names, that was kind of passe. Obviously, it made a comeback in the late 70s with the power pop resurgence. But yeah, they're actually, we joked about that, Tim. Thankfully, no. They weren't even on the short list. They weren't even on the long list.
Was it the Who or was it just Who?
No, it was the Who.
That's what I always thought.
I'm pretty sure it was always the
Who, but
Yeah, in
Who
the
would have been
60s
cooler.
In the
Yeah.
60s, well, in the 60s, everybody was a the.
Yeah.
Until the late 60s, when things got psychedelic, and then those disappeared. Once album rock started coming,
Yeah, it's true.
I guess they thought it was maybe too cute to be called. Bands thought it was too cute to have the before their names, so they didn't do it. But somehow it just seemed natural to call the band the Raspberries. I still do it, even though I know it's not proper. But I just find it kind of funny that this collection dubs them as the Raspberries. I like it.
I saw it. I saw that. Yeah, I did.
I think for a while, I used to call shoes the Shoes for a while, probably for the same reason. Especially during the power pop renaissance, all these the bands were starting to come back. And they had such a strong 60s influence as well that you just wanted to call them the Shoes. But the origin of that name definitely flies in the face of that, where which Beatle was it that said we could have been called Shoes? Was that John Lennon or George Harrison?
I think
John Borak would know if he was.
John, what is it? I think it was Harrison, wasn't it? But I don't remember. But
I don't think it's McCartney, and I know it wasn't Ringo. But anyway, yeah, so there was no the at that point. So yeah, they wanted to name themselves after that phrase.
Well, you kind of throw the in on everything. You could say, and then I put butter on the toast, and then I put the butter on the toast. But
Plastic Soul, a great band from LA, had an album called Pictures of the Long Ago. Yeah. I don't know if that's in reference to a movie title or a book title, but if not, then they probably just threw it in there. I kind of like it.
It's cool. That's cool. But yeah, it's a great compilation though. Even though some of the tracks will be questionable, but it's
it's coming out in November, I believe.
Cherry Red does great stuff. I mean, I've been listening to this a lot recently. The Kids on the Street, which is UK power pop box set 77-81. That's a great compilation, 3 discs.
They really, I mean, that label is they're just amazing.
Yeah.
At least in terms of the reissues they put out.
I think it's right over there.
Oh yeah, I see it. Can you grab it? I don't have it yet. Can you grab it for me, please?
Hold on. There we go. There you go. I'm gonna pass it through the internet line to you.
Please, yeah.
You got it.
I actually wish I had my copy here. I would have just shown it.
Yeah, I didn't set that up properly. Oh wait, Paul said we could have been called the Shoes.
Oh, okay. So here, I'm totally wrong.
Yeah,
I assume that's John. So
see, it's good to have a Beatle author in your
no doubt about it
in your viewership here.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, John. The last new album I want to talk about is a band that I'm sure you know and you've probably seen because they're not from too far from you. Parallax Project.
Mr. Giblin.
Yes, Mike Giblin. Autologous. Is that a real word?
Autologous, isn't it? Autologous.
It might be autologous. Is that an actual word?
I'm going to look it up right now. How do
I
you
love
spell
it.
that?
Either way, I love it. It reminds me of analogous, of course, which is why I use the hard G, but maybe it is a soft G.
Well, let's get this right now. It is autologous of cells and tissues
Oh,
obtained from the same
which
individual.
which makes sense given the,
Yes.
the artwork. Yeah,
Given
those
his
are,
yes.
yeah, those are very well blown up cells.
Yep. That's very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway, the music's cool too. Mike Giblin has that really nice high tenor,
yeah. He's
and
a very talented
the
guy.
songs are always very, very warm. And yeah, this album is no exception. It's on Cool Cat. Of course, they're going to have good. They're going to have good enough
Ray
taste
always, yeah.
to release this, I should say. Um, yeah, I
Cool.
really like this album. It's very solid, and I've actually reached out to Mike to play IPO New York. He doesn't have an actual live band at the moment, but he's thinking about putting one together. So so I'm hoping that maybe something could be put together in time for them to play. Are they from Harrisburg?
Yeah, the Harrisburg area.
Yeah.
But I know he still playing around with the Split Squad? I know they've been playing
Oh,
recently.
that's true. But
You know?
no, I don't know. But
I think he is.
but yeah, as far as a Parallels project band, he doesn't have one at the moment. But there
Well,
are
he'll probably get
local people he could get.
yeah, he could grab our friend Cliff Hillis and that whole crowd of talented musicians and put together a Parallax project pretty easily. So
Yeah, what's Steve Ward doing these days? Now there's a guy
Yeah.
who, I mean, Cherry Twister, that was one of the great pop albums of the 90s. There's no
Yeah.
doubt about that. If you guys haven't heard Cherry Twister, you need to find them online. I'm trying to recall the name of that first album, but all their records are good, but that one is, yeah, see if you can find it there.
I got it right here.
You mean the store has it? That's amazing.
The store. You know what? I may not have it right here. It might be in a whole other area of the
Whole
store.
other area of the shop, huh?
Whole other area of the store. I thought maybe I would have it right here, but this is a different area of the store. No, I do not have it right here. But it's a different area of the store. I'm sorry. That's all imports.
Yeah, I guess so.
Good stuff though. A lot of great releases out though. So when people say there's no good music, At Home with Cherry Twister. Thank you, DC Tin.
Yes, At Home with Cherry Twister. Great record. And Steve Ward had a wonderful solo album as well.
Yeah,
a few years later, which you want to look for.
That was a banner power pop time. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
no, this is just the tip of the iceberg. I could talk for a lot longer about a lot more releases, but we'll save them for another time.
Indeed.
In the meantime, I guess if we're ready for Stump the Bash.
Stump the Bash, Stump the Bash. Stump the Bash, Stump the Bash.
Hey, where's the picture? Oh, you're at the record store. You don't have it.
I'm at the record store. I don't have access to the pictures. Oh, wait, somebody just put it up.
Oh, my God.
It looks almost lifelike. Stump the Bash. Well, you know what? Stump the Bash tonight. I got two different ways I can go this evening just to have some fun with some trivia. I've got a whole lineup of who charted, which was which is different. I've got some sound clips, and I want to see if you can, from a clue or two I give you, and a small bit of a sound clip, whether you can identify the track and the band, which would be kind of cool. Or I've got something called Bash the Bash. It's about time, and I'm going to read you clues and start the clock at 2 minutes. And based on when you get the name and title of the track and artist, how long it takes you as I continue to read clues is how many points you get. If you get it within the first, what are my rules here? First 30 seconds, it's 5 points.
Wow.
45 seconds, you get 4 points. First minute's 3 points, all the way down to 1 and 0. And we'll do it with all 11 years. So if you average 3 points a year, you have to have 33 points to win that episode.
Are
It's a
these
little
clues-
more. It's a little more complex. You
Are
cannot
these
stop
clue-
and say wait.
Are these clues as tough as the Stump the Bass clues?
Well, they're kind of similar.
I hope not.
But
I'll never get those in 30
I'm
seconds.
just going to, and here's the twist with it. It is songs in certain chart positions, and I randomize them from this week, which is the week of September 6th, 7th. Split Squad. Thank you, Barry. Haverford Township Music Festival this Saturday. So they are playing. It's going to be from this week, from 1965, 1966, and there are various different chart positions. So it's a much more complex way of trying to stump you because we have yet to really stump you consistently. So it depends which way you want to go tonight. You want to go with that one, or do you want to go with the sound clips one this evening, and we can play either one. Yeah.
Well, we've never done a sound clips one.
You want to try it?
So yeah, let's try that, and we'll save the other one for. Well, but the only problem is the other one is based upon this week. So,
Yeah, but I can still say it's the week of September 7th. So it's up to you. It's up to you.
I want to try the sound clips one.
Let's do the sound clips. And basically how this is going to work is I am going to read you a clue or one or two, and I'm going to play you a sound clip. And based on that, you need to get it correct. I don't know how many. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 22, 20. I got 25 sound clips. They're all real short, real simple. So
and they're all from those 11 years, but
no, these are from all over the place. These are from 65 to 75. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, okay. But they could be they could be from any of those years at any time.
Yes, at any time. So what do we say? If you get 50% of everything, you are not stumped. If you
are these 13, songs that all did these all make the top 100 for the year? Or
they all landed. They peaked at certain places in the top 100. Yeah.
And so all you're going to do is play the clip. I get no.
I'm going to give you a clue, and I'm going to play the clip.
One clip.
But
all right.
You're not going to get a lot of clues. Some of these you're going to be like boom right away. Other ones, the clips are a little more.
How long are the clips?
Seconds, like a couple seconds.
Oh, that may not help me, but okay, let's try it.
You know your music, so give me a second because I got to figure out how I do this here. Hold on. All right. All right, so here we go. Let me get a pen ready. I got to see. All right. This track reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart in 1968. It was written by Tom T. Hall. This is an easy one. Here's the clip.
That's more than a couple of seconds. But okay.
Yeah, I played it twice.
Is that Harper Valley PTA?
You got that one right. Harper Valley.
Do I have to say the artist? Jeannie C. Riley. But
yeah, that's right. You should give me the track and the artist. So Harper Valley PTA, Jeannie C. Riley. You've got that one right. That was a pretty easy one right out of the block.
It's not all that. That's not a song I've heard a lot.
But it's
the Tom T. Hall helped a little bit.
Tom T. Hall helped a little bit. All right, let me. I'm playing around here because I got to figure out where all the songs are. Here we go. All right, this one a little bit more difficult. This one reached number 40 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1968. If you don't get it right, yep, I'm gonna. If you don't get it right away, I will give you a second clue that could help you out. Here we go.
I don't know why I'm not getting it, but I'm not. Somebody else might.
Members included game show host Chuck Woolery.
Wait a second. I thought you said, wait, that didn't reach number 4. Oh, it only reached number 40 for a week.
Yeah.
I thought you said these all made the Hot 100 for the year.
No. Just reached number 40 in the Hot 100 at some point.
Then,
this is not the year.
Now that you gave me that clue, I know that it's. No, I know what it is.
All right, what do you got?
Naturally Stoned by the Avant-Garde.
Very nice. You got it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the clip on Playboy After Dark.
Yeah.
Chuck is trying to be cool, but I mean, in retrospect, it's easy to say he was completely uncool.
Chuck Woolery, though.
But yeah, hard to believe. Mr. Conservative Chuck Woolery was a hippie back then. Well, not exactly.
All right, well, you're 2 for 2. This is fairly simple, but it's kind of interesting. This one reached number 6 in the Billboard Hot 100 in 1967. It's a Holland Dozier Holland song.
In 67, you said?
In 67.
Okay. Got it.
There it is.
I believe that's You Keep Me Hanging On by Vanilla Fudge.
There you go. 3 for 3. You keep me hanging on, Vanilla Fudge. This is not difficult for you, but this is a little bit fun just trying to name these tracks. How about this one? Peaked at number 55. This peaked at number 55 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1969.
Yikes.
The song's lyrics contain no actual words. Who is this?
Once you said no actual words, I actually knew it.
Who is that, though?
Phenomena by what they called Sweden, Heaven, and Hell.
But is that the artist you're going to name?
They actually called it Sweden, Heaven, and Hell soundtrack. That's what they dubbed the artist.
All right, but the artist that's listed under this, I still will give it to you because you got it. But it's Piero Umiliani.
I don't remember ever hearing that.
Piero Umiliani, Mana Mana. I love it.
Yeah, Sesame Street. How do I know this? Yes, I did watch a little Sesame Street back in 1970.
Oh yeah, Chuck Woolery.
Yeah, that was very cool. Joanne Flug was definitely she was definitely one of them 70s babes.
Joanne Flug, I forgot.
She was one of those people who would sit on the left side of the bottom row on Match Game, which meant you were a hot chick. The comedians always sat. The comedians always sat on the female comedians sat on the far right. Richard Dawson.
Gene Rayburn wanted to lean over all the hot chicks.
Oh my God, he was such a dirty old man. I remember one time when Judy Landers was on and she was wearing this low cut thing and he kept leaning over. He'd never be able to do that now.
And Richard Dawson always had to be next to them as well, right?
Say again?
Richard Dawson always had to be next to him.
I'm sure he was happy to be next to, But yeah, that was, I mean, the things that Rayburn got away with.
And think about it. Rayburn always had that microphone that was a giant phallic symbol. You know?
Yeah. No, he was the ultimate dirty old game show host.
I love it. Getting some comments. Oh, let's see. There you go. He has the Piero Umiliani Manamana 45. Wow. That's pretty cool.
It's part of the Sweden Heaven and Hell soundtrack, and that's how it was dubbed for a while. So
that's cool.
Maybe because Piero was too hard to pronounce for the DJs. So they said, God, we better give it another name.
See how we go down roads here just because we're playing a game. This is great. I love it. All right, here you go. Peaked at number 57 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1967. This song was originally written for Lawrence Welk.
Peaked at 57 in 1967, and that's just 57 for a week. Yeah, he sure was a dirt. Yeah, no doubt about it. Now, again, when he would. Like who else? Adrienne Barbeau would sit in that chair and she'd wear something low cut. And
Adrienne Barbeau, remember Adrienne Barbeau?
Dolly Martin, Dolly Reed from behind. It was.
Oh Lord, always right there in the front left corner.
You would always lean right over him. Could you imagine a game show host doing that now? Could you? He'd be fired. They wouldn't even give him a second chance.
Richard Dawson, he went on to
kiss everybody.
Yeah, to kiss everybody.
Yeah, I mean the stuff funny. You got away with now that would be that would be unfathomable now.
Well, I told you that he was on What's My Line, Gene Rayburn, as a panelist, and what's her name came on saying
Meredith McRae, right?
McRae saying the guy introduced her as having a child or two, and she said, I haven't had any children. Rayburn leaned to her and said, I can help you with that.
Mm.
Right there on air.
He would never have a job again. If he did that now, he would be out of showbiz. There isn't even any doubt about it.
Good times. Good times.
Oh my God. Anyway, I do not know what song that is. I have no
peaked
clue.
at number 57, written for Lawrence Welk. This is the beginning of Tiny Bubbles by Don Ho.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
I don't know
Tiny
if I've
Bubbles.
ever actually heard it.
That's okay. It's just
God.
one down. One down, five to go.
Can I get something from the 70s, please?
No. I'm just going along here. Let me see what I can find here. Is this one?
No, I'll take them in the order you were going to give them, but I'm just saying.
Don't confuse me here. I'm trying. Here we go. All right, here we go. All right, this was a minor hit on the Cold Gems label in 1967. This act got their name from those people who were in charge of the Corps of Discovery Expeditions.
Oh, fuck. I know who the band is, but I can't remember the name of the song.
That's half the battle here. You can get the band, but what's the song?
No, it's Lewis and Clark Expedition.
Just,
son of a bitch. Lewis and Clark. I feel good, I feel bad.
I feel good. Lewis and Clark Expedition.
I pulled that out of nowhere. Wow.
Good one. That's
well,
a
the
good
Cold
one.
Gems certainly helped.
Cold Gems.
But I might have known anyway when you told me about the exploring.
Yeah. Well, that
know who was in that band? Two people
Lewis.
who went on to have top 40 hits, although one of them was a lot bigger. Michael Murphy, who had Wildfire.
Yep.
And Boomer Castleman, who had a hit called Judy May, which definitely made the top 40 because I heard it on American Top 40, but it did. I don't know how high it got, but not high enough for anyone to remember it.
Oh, well, cool. Me. Well, you got that one. That one took you a couple extra seconds, but that's I Feel Good, Lewis and Clark Expedition. All right, moving on. Let's do this one. Barely cracked the Billboard Hot 100 in 1966. The track is a cover version of an Alan Toussaint song.
I'm pretty sure I know the song, but it's not coming to me, and I don't think it's going to. I don't know. I mean, Christ, it just barely made the top 100. There's no chance I had of hearing it back then, obviously.
I only know this track because 999 also covered it. That was Fortune Teller by The Hard Time.
I know this song. No way was I going to get it.
Good one, Fortune Teller. All right, well, that's
Well, how am I doing? I have two wrong. I know that.
Right now, you got two wrong, and you've already got five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right. You're 6 up, 2 down. You're killing it. Doesn't really.
How many more do we have?
A whole bunch. I'll tell you when we're
right. Are we going to get into the 70s ever?
I don't know whether I get in the 70s with this. Hold on. I get close. No, I do. We do. And we're kind of going along.
Oh my God, you're really killing me here.
Yeah, but you're 6 up and 2 down. You're great.
I know, but if they're more like that one, I'm never.
All right, I'm gonna give you just one simple clue here, and then I'll follow it up with another clue if you don't get it right away. This track peaked at number 6 in the UK singles chart, and I have no idea what year this was, but just see if you get it. Members included Nigel Olsson.
Oh. Hold on. I'm going to guess the group is Plastic Penny.
You're 50% correct. Wow. I didn't know. I didn't think you'd get that one.
Oh, I know that. Oh, what the hell is the name of their big hit? I don't remember the name of the hit. I really.
Well, we can't give it to you, but you did have Plastic Penny, which was pretty impressive.
Did I get half a point for that?
Well, I'm not making it a complete X. I'm kind of giving it a half of an X. So
Yeah, there
I'll
you
give
go.
you half a point. Yes.
Wait, let me see if I can.
Everything.
Hold on.
Everything.
I don't know.
Everything I Am by
Yeah.
Plastic Penny.
Okay.
That's
Well,
all
I
right.
knew Nigel Olsen had been in the band, and I knew that they had some big hits over there. But
All right, here we go. Let's go with this one. This was reached number 11 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1967. And I'll give you a second clue if you don't get it from this, which I think you will.
and they have a song that I put on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, called "Tomorrow Is My Turn," which is really great. "Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead" by the Fifth Estate.
Outstanding. It was also covered by the Monkees on their lost episode, "The Throat Escaper," in case you are a Monkees nut. But "Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead," the Fifth Estate.
Yeah, you should
Very
check
nice.
out "Tomorrow Is My Turn." I love it. But anyway.
All right, now this one is kind of apropos to probably you and I. We would love it for many different reasons, but this peaked. It's a little tough. It peaked at number 93, Billboard Hot 100, 1967. This Buddha Records release was a spoken word record. Listen to this.
Dear Dad.
Oh. Barry Sadler? I don't think so.
Someone guessing?
Dear Dad.
I know I've heard this. Hey,
It's okay. You're way up, so you can miss a couple.
I know, but I hate when it's not my dad. It's not My Dad by Paul Peterson.
No. I love the name of this band too. It's a 4-word name.
I don't know.
It's A Letter to Dad by Every Father's Teenage Son.
Oh yeah, I've heard of it. I don't know that I ever heard it before.
Every Father's Teenage Son starts off with
Dear Dad.
Dear Dad.
Yeah. No, I don't.
All right, we're climbing up the
with
years.
these number 90s from 1967. At least
I know.
From the 70s, I might know a few, but
I'll give you a grand total if we're done here. This one peaked at number 14 in 1969, inspired by an episode of the Beverly Hillbillies.
Yeah. Really? I thought it did better than that, but I thought it was like number 11, but
Number 14.
it is Hot Smoke and Sassafras by the Bubble Puppy.
Excellent. Did not fool David on that one. Hot
God, I love
Sassafras.
I love the opening guitar riff. The one, not that. Well, this one's cool too. But what comes after this?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love those guitar riffs.
The
And yeah,
Bubble Puppy.
they were on the International Artist label along with 13th Floor Elevators, and they had just really. That's another band that kind of reminds me of that earthy sound that Chilliwack and was starting to do. But
Good
yeah,
one, though.
right,
You
great song.
called it. This one you're going to get. This one I guarantee. It peaked at number 32, Billboard Hot 100, 1969. It's about a love affair that only exists on weekends.
Now, I'm
Great
sure a lot
Sunshine
of people think that's Spanking in Our Gang.
Yes.
And I believe they did do a version of it, but it is not the hit. That is Peppermint Rainbow and Will You Be Staying After Sunday? Or Go Home on Monday.
These are great songs, and I'm not surprised that you know them, but I'm always not surprised. I'm always amazed at your wealth of knowledge of just even little clips with a clue or two, and it's really great.
When you went through your teenage and early adult years never having sex, you learn things.
All right, you're way up right now. We'll tally this a little bit later. This one peaked at number 21 in 1969, and this act's first album was produced by Jimi Hendrix.
I don't know.
This one's a tough one. This was Good Old Rock and Roll by Cat Mother and the All Night Newsboys.
Yeah, a song I've barely ever heard, but I'm aware of it. But I wouldn't have been able to.
The singer in Peppermint Rainbow became a judge in St. Louis. Cool. Little facts you never know. Good Old Rock and Roll. Cat Mother and the All Night Newsboys.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the album around. I've heard of the song. I may have heard it once in my life. So yeah, I was never
right.
gonna get that.
That's an X right there, but you're still way ahead. All right, this one peaked at number 20 in 1969. It was produced by Len Barry, former lead singer of the Dovells.
Yeah, I have no idea.
This one's not coming to you. This was Kemosabe by the Electric Indian.
Nice.
2 in a row.
Now, had this been 1970, I probably would have gotten it, but I was not listening to much radio in 69. So yeah, I've seen that, and again, I've seen that album. I've seen that Electric Indian album. Never played it, never bought it. Know nothing about it.
It's now on your bucket list.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
All right. Speaking of 1970, we're going to move into 1970.
Yay.
This one peaked at number 2 in 1970. Lyric was inspired by an anti-drug pamphlet with a little cartoon of a friendly stranger.
I already know what it is.
Do you know what it is?
I'm pretty sure, but let me hear the song.
That's all you get.
It's Vehicle by Eyes of March.
You got it.
Now, I mean, could you imagine trying to write a song like that now?
Right.
It's just incredible what you could get away with that. I got pictures, Candy. I'm a lovable man, and I could take you to the nearest star. By the way, that's one of John Borak's all-time favorite songs.
Is it really?
No, he hates it. He hates it.
It would have been, instead of "I'm your vehicle," it would have been "Get in my vehicle, baby." Would have been a better lyric, right?
Well, I think he was kind of implying that.
So that was one of John Borak's favorite songs. Wow.
No, he hated it.
I know.
He actually hated it.
All right. Well, that's in a plus side for you.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about the Ides of March. They prior to their Warner Brothers years, they had a bunch of singles on Parrot Records, which are great folk garage. I don't know how many you've heard. You wouldn't listen. Yeah. You Wouldn't Listen was their biggest hit from that period. Kind of reminds me a bit of Go Now by the Moody Blues.
Right.
It's really cool. And then Roller Coaster, which showed up on one of the Pebbles albums.
Yeah. Even
though it was a charted hit, I think it made it to like number 88 or something for 1 week, but it somehow Greg Shaw decided to put it on Pebbles anyway. Mm-hmm. They had some great, and then they had a song on Cap called Nobody Loves Me, which was a soft pop song from, I want to say 68. It's possible it's 69, but I have the single somewhere. Wow. Before they like a lot of bands back then were talented enough to change their style to what they thought would work. Right. And once they heard Blood, Sweat, and Tears with all those horn bass hits, they thought, hey, we can do that. They rocked it up a little, and it worked.
It worked. And they came up with Vehicle. I love it. All right. Well, that's on a positive side. We're going to stick in 1970. This track peaked at number 13, and it's been recorded by over 150 different artists worldwide. I think you know it already.
I do. And actually, that was an answer to one of the Stump the Bashes that I pulled out of thin. I got 5 points on it, just pulling it out of, I have no idea how. United We Stand by the Brotherhood of Man.
Great track. Wonderful track. Yep.
Oh,
Yeah,
it really
I knew you were going to get that one right away. That was a gimme. 1970. This is your wheelhouse. These are your wheelhouse years. The rest of these clues are all 70 to 72. So you're going to kill it right here.
Well,
Here we go.
yeah. Well, I have at least, even if you give me something that peaked at number 60, I've had a chance to have heard it at least. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Of
Nice.
course they played Vehicle. They would have been, there would have been a riot if they hadn't. Most of the people who were there probably didn't know any of their other songs.
Brother song, yeah, the other songs, yeah. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
This track peaked at number 14 in 1970. It's a dark little piece of gospel funk.
People say that he won't come. People say that he won't come.
Are you
Yeah.
ready to sit down in front? Are you ready not to be alone? Someone's coming to take you home, and if you're ready, then we'll carry on.
You're
It's
saying you
Pacific
know this.
Gas and Electric with "Are You Ready?"
Great one.
And that song John Borak really does love, and in fact, it was covered on John Borak and Spider Pop's 1970 collection.
Yep.
Covered by Delbert Reams, who I never thought could sing like that. If you know Delbert, he's sort of a, how do I want to say this? Sort of like a Gomer Pyle character, but dangerously conservative. So he's total comic relief in that group of people from Spider Pop. But he's a total good old boy. But boy, he sang the hell out of that version. I don't know if John's still on listening, but hell, Billy is not.
People say that he won't come.
I love it.
Yeah. Are you ready?
Pacific Gas and Electric. Are you ready? All right, you're way up now. Here we go. 1970. This one peaked at number 21. And this song has appeared on all three of this artist's live albums.
You got me on this one. I don't know.
This one he doesn't know. This is Joanne by Michael Nesmith and the First National Band.
I should have known it. I don't remember it beginning that way, but okay.
Yeah.
Blew it.
Sometimes, sometimes you can't always get it. But here we go. All right, I gotta find where I'm at here. I lost my. Oh, here we go. Right here. All right, here we go. Peaked at number 8 in 1970. The full version of this song ends with a few bars from a song from the musical Oklahoma. I think you know it already.
Yes, it's Montego Bay by Bobby Bloom.
Bobby Bloom. I was just hoping that every once in a while you couldn't remember the actual artist's name, but you're doing well.
That may still happen.
It may still happen.
65. This stuff. Fuck it. This shit happens to me all the time now.
You're way up. All right, here we go. We're coming down to the home stretch, the final 6. Here we go. This one peaked at number 17 in 1971. It was written by Rupert Holmes.
I already know what it is.
What is it?
Oh, I want to hear it. I love this song.
What do you got?
Well, obviously, a great story with this, but I'll name it first. Timothy by the Boys.
Yes.
Buoys.
The Buoys.
The story, of course, and I don't think Rupert Holmes has tried to deny this, but it's written about cannibalism. You've got 3 people caught in a mine, and one of them, Timothy, gets eaten by Joe and the singer. They tried. A lot of radio stations banned it. And I never actually heard it at the time because WABC, which, as you know from some of my previous stories, I mean, they would ban the Carpenters if they had a reason to do it. They were so ban happy. So I don't remember hearing it then. But so radio stations are banning it, and Scepter Records, the label, would try and tell them it's not about cannibalism. Timothy was a donkey. Yeah, right. Sure it was.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a great
Yeah.
story, though. But
Yeah.
think about the lyrical content. Awesome, just
Yeah.
fantastic for a track. All right, you're back up, down final five. Here we go. This one's an easy one for you. Peaked at number 2 in 1971. It was also the number 1 soul single of the year.
That would be Mr. Big Stuff by
Here we
Dean
go. What's
Knight. I was kidding.
I know.
Oh, that would be one. It's not like she had a whole bunch of other hits. You know, I could have forgotten.
I know that would have been a tough one for me. I could name the track from those few seconds, but Gene Knight would have been a little difficult, I think, to pull out. But you got it. All right.
If I recall, her nephew Chris was on the Brady Bunch. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Chris Knight. All right. This one peaked at number 3 in 1971. The song means I never said it would be easy.
I thought it did it. If I recall, it made it to number 12 for the year on WABC's Top 100. So I would have thought it made number 1 on Billboard, but no, it didn't. Rose Garden by Lynn Anderson.
I love the beginning of that song. It just comes
really
right out of the gates like boom. Yep.
Good. Better than the rest of it.
Yeah.
I didn't warm up to it quickly, but yeah, over the years, I've definitely grown to really, really like it.
Yeah,
I hope you have some lower chart numbers from the 70s, because those would be the real challenges.
Well, I can do that. Oh, Paul, first one I've got. I beg your pardon. See how difficult it is? I mean,
I'm not. Well, I'm not saying it's easy. I mean, some of these songs are things that were the soundtrack of my life. So,
well, if we like this version, we don't always have to do the same, Stump the Bash version. If we like these sound clips, I can go.
No, I like them a lot.
I can go deeper, and we can have stories.
No, but like in the 60s, you had songs that peaked at number 90. I mean,
yeah. This is just my first attempt at this. We'll massage this a little bit, so to speak. All right. This one peaked at number 4 in 1972. It received a poor rating of 57.5 on American Bandstand's Radar record. So the bandstand dancers hated this one, and here it is.
Yeah, I actually wish they had stayed with that riff throughout the whole song. I think it's a really cool riff. They changed the key and everything, and it's still a great song. Nice to Be With You by Gallery.
There you go. Nice to Be With You by Gallery.
Also had hits with I Believe in Music, which was a Mac Davis song, and Big City Miss Ruth Ann.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now that one, had you played the beginning of Big City Miss Ruth Ann, I probably wouldn't get it. But if I heard the whole song, I'd know who did it.
Timothy too.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah.
Good one.
It's about a donkey. Yeah. Okay. Nice try.
All right, here we go. The second to the last one. This one peaked at number 8 in 1971. It was composed by Hans van Hemert and
Wait, we're going back to 71 now?
This is 71, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You went. All right, never mind.
I'm just goofing off. I don't know where we're at. You just froze. You there? All right. Composed by Hans van Hemert and Harry van Hoof. And this is just one of my favorite tracks from the early 70s. I love this one. So you'll probably get it. All right, here we go.
This isn't from 71.
What's that?
That's not from 71.
Is it 72? Did I mess that up? Yeah, 72. All right, maybe
unless it was 71 in Holland, where this group is from.
I could probably. Since you already know that it's Holland, you got this. Who is it?
No, it's "How Do You Do" by Mouth and McNeil.
Mouth and McNeil. How do you do? I just love that song.
I think I bought on one of my trips to Stockholm. I think I got the Dutch version of the album, which has a different cover than the. I love finding that. In fact, here I'm gonna grab something because
he has to go let the pool guy in. I hope everybody's having a gas with this little audio clip trying to stump the bass. Obviously, we have not stumped David on this, but I like his idea of going much deeper in the charts with maybe a little bit more obscure sound clips. So we'll prepare that for a future episode. That'll be a number of weeks ahead, because in a tiny bit we're going to announce awesome guest for next week and awesome guest for the week after that. So the next 2 weeks we're going to have some two incredible guests. So stick around. Yeah, subscribe over on YouTube or here on Facebook, materialissues.com, or right here on the Facebook group. You're not going to want to miss the next 2 weeks live if you want to chime in and ask some questions. Yeah.
I love finding stuff like this. This is the Chambers Brothers album.
Wow.
With a different cover than the U.S. version, a better cover, I think. I love these flowers in the background.
Very cool.
Of course, it has "Time Has Come Today" on it.
Yeah.
I'm psychedelicized. Okay. Let's.
That's a great cover. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. Well, we didn't stump it. We got one final song here, and you're way up. I'll give you the total numbers.
Shut up, Alexa.
I thought that was Rena in the background. You've got a heart of stone.
Well, yeah.
All right, here we go. This one peaked at number 12 in 72. The group was never actually a group per se. They were more of a happening that, well, happened to find one good soft shoe song.
Oh.
Thought I got you on this one.
No, I know it. Yeah, this is one of the shortest hits also of the year. I don't think it's even 2 minutes long. Motorcycle Mama by Sailcat.
Motorcycle Mama by Sailcat. Now, how many people out there got Motorcycle Mama?
Now here. I mean, they're talking about riding in a Harley. I mean, they're supposed to be cool guys. They sound like total wimps.
How many people got Motorcycle Mama by Sailcat? I would not have gotten it.
It was a little tough, you know. It took me a couple of seconds. I think once that guitar riff came in, I knew it. But tell your daddy and your mama too, you got something better to do. And stick around the house the rest of your life. You're 18, you can do what you like. Be a queen.
Look at that.
You'll be the queen of my highway, my motorcycle mama, and we'll see the world in my Harley. Okay.
That's pretty good. Tim has the Sailcat
if
LP.
If the chain don't break. That's how it ends.
You did that really well, by the way.
Oh, nice.
That was great. All right. Well, the final tally, there were 25 clips there, David. You got 19 out of the 25. That's pretty darn.
Some of those smaller 60s chart hits would stump me because, you know.
Well, I tell you, it's a good idea you had. I will go. I'll prepare another one of those down the road. I will go with some deeper cuts.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. In the 70s, maybe go for half. Yeah. In the 70s, half big ones, half deep ones. Yep.
Yeah, we'll do that. It'll be interesting. And I still have the It's About Time Bash the Bash stuff for a couple weeks from now, which will be.
We can do that. But yeah, right now we don't have too many open dates at the moment because we've got some cool guests coming up.
So let's talk about it. Well, we've been promising.
We've talked about the first two for quite a while.
Yeah.
And the next one, which I will be in Arlington, Texas for, is a huge one.
Yeah. So coming up next Wednesday, that's why you want to subscribe on YouTube or on Facebook so we notify you. But top 10 hits in 73, 74. He came out of the chutes with one of my favorite tracks, Spiders and Snakes, followed it up with Wildwood Weed. And then he had a pretty big hit with My Girl Bill. And he had his summer replacement variety show. He's just been legendary. It's Mr. Jim Stafford. Really? I remember when Mary Lou said, "You want to walk me home from school?"
I wonder if even a song like that could be made now.
He said, I was nervous as you might do what you want to do. And I was nervous, as you might guess, still looking for something to slip down her dress.
Yeah, see, that kind of line would get it canceled because she's the one who says do what you want to do. So that
She
should be
does, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Although, some people would say, well, he probably roofied her at this point. So we're not going to allow that.
Looking forward to it. I mean, I've loved Jim Stafford forever, and this is a really, really cool opportunity for us to talk.
And
to him.
he's going to be in a good, like a jovial kind of guy, like he was on his summer replacement show.
Yeah. So that's very cool.
Very,
and after
very
that,
witty songwriter.
We're following that up with an equally great one from a little bit later period of time. Who we got on the 20th of September?
Yes, we have one of the main men of one of the most beloved pop bands to ever walk the face of the earth, Jellyfish. Certainly in the annals of power pop, they're considered one of the greatest, even though what they did really wasn't entirely power pop. But, the definition of power pop usually extends to include things that power pop fans unanimously like. So, damn, this thing is getting bigger. Anyway, that's what she said. Ha ha. Okay.
In a surprise fashion, it's getting bigger.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, she's been with me before. She knows. Yeah. Anyway, also one of the main men of the Great Imperial Drag, TV Eyes, Licorice Quartet, and an awesome solo artist in his own right, with a brand new disc, which I don't know if is officially out yet. I should have had this ready, but naturally now I can't find it. Oh, David, you have too many records. No, you don't. That's impossible.
We just love when he disappears from the screen, but we can still hear his voice. It's very spooky.
Wow, that's so weird. I'm not seeing it.
Numbers in time blow my mind.
Shown, as I said to her, I've shown it before. It's he's got a new LP combination of EPs coming out on my favorite label, Omnivore Recordings. It is Roger Joseph Manning Jr. on Material Issues on September 20th.
So that's back to back, big time. Jim Stafford and Roger Joseph Manning Jr. Next 2 weeks right here on Material Issues.
And tell all your friends. Here's what you do: tell all your friends to watch that one live, and have them all say, "We need that Jellyfish reunion."
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Now, Roger and I had a discussion about this. I want to say maybe 10 years ago. He said he would totally be up for it, but obviously Andy is the wild card.
Mm-hmm.
And Andy is totally not up for it. And I told Roger, if there's ever to be a Jellyfish reunion, it has to be at IPO.
Yes, he was married to Bobby Gentry. Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. Yeah. Good call, Paul.
I said it would have to be at IPO. And he said, he meant no disrespect. He said, unfortunately, you wouldn't be able to afford us. And I said, really? He said, yeah. Coachella offered us high six figures to play, and we had to turn it down because Andy just won't do it.
Well, time heals all wounds, and
you hope.
You hope.
I don't know how much of it. See, this is part of the problem because I don't think it's a wound. I think in Andy's case, it's more of a been there, done that.
Yeah.
So that's harder to heal in a way because there's nothing much to heal. It's more like he's just made a decision, like that was a part of my life that I've graduated from, and I'm doing what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
When it's a wound, there's always a possibility because, as the Persuaders said in 1971, I mean, it's a thin line between love and hate,
mm-hmm.
and it really is. It can go either way like that.
Yep.
So wounds can heal quickly, but
there's
a blasé attitude, that's a little tougher. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it may be that Andy's just never going to do it. But man, would that be a dream come true for so many people?
Oh yeah.
But anyway, we'll cheekily bring that up when Roger's on. See what he
knows.
Says.
Yeah.
So on the 27th at the moment, we don't have anyone scheduled, but that could change because I'm working on somebody. But on October 4th, Mark has just come up with quite an interesting, well, at least for us. If you're a baseball fan, it'll be interesting. But even if you're not, you might find this. You might find this actually kind of fascinating.
Every once in a while, we reach out into other genres instead of just music, and we've done it a few times here. We've had Cy Young Award winner on the show, but this is kind of baseball card oriented. But this is my book from 1975, and it is the Great American Baseball Card Flipping, Trading, and Bubblegum book, which was like my Bible back then. I read it so many times. But it was co-authored by Brendan Boyd, and nobody really knows where he is at anymore, if he's still among the living. But the second author, Fred Harris, will be on our show October 4th. Fred's, I believe he's around 78 years old now, and is just very well known in the industry with this book. And he's looking forward to talking to us about it.
I'm very much looking forward to talking to him, because like you, that book was something I pored over. I remember my copy got split in a few places, but it's wonderful. And again, the cool thing is the cards they talk about were mostly by players who weren't very good. They were more interesting, because sometimes the backs of those cards had, whoever had to write the back of those cards, and it should have been me, because I'm always writing descriptions of artists, and I'm finding, the most positive things to say. At least at IPO, I know that I like everyone. But if I had to do that for people I didn't like, it would be very difficult. And it was very difficult for people writing the backs of baseball cards to say something good about a guy who's hitting 190 and made 30 errors. What are you going to say about a guy like that?
He was a great family man.
Yeah, exactly. or with Sammy Esposito, he attended Indiana U for 3 years, which, as I said, if you're talking about a guy's college experience, he can't be very good. So it was tough for those guys who wrote at the back of the baseball cards to say things about certain people.
That's the cool thing about this book. There's a lot of great humor in it. You see the humor in a lot of those kind of backs and the fronts, the pictures and things.
And if you were old enough to collect baseball cards, you'll certainly empathize with Boyd and Harris.
Yeah. He sells home
yeah, exactly. There was a lot of that kind of stuff with guys who just had nothing positive to say about their major league career.
But and speaking of writing the backs of things, we've talked about this before. Wouldn't it be cool to do like an IPO card set where you could have pictures of artists that have played over all the years in IPO and write their discography on the back?
We should do that. And I know a guy, Joe Rubens, who does the Power Pop cards, and those are amazing.
So we could
definitely do them, and we could use the design. We pick a year from their career, and we use the Topps design from that year for their card.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Which is kind of what he did with, like, the Badfinger cards that he did. They're like 1971, 72, during their peak.
Yeah, Fred does not know what happened to Brendan Boyd. He has not been in contact for many years. There was a recent article I just read. There's some kind of like Baseball Writers Hall of Fame, and they were just inducted into the Hall of Fame, these two guys, for this book.
Wow.
But even that article said they had exhausted every means to try to find whatever happened to Brendan Boyd, and nobody knows whether he's alive or not, or where he's at, and neither does Fred. So
I wonder if my Facebook friend Darren Viola knows, because he was going to actually write a sequel to that book. I don't know if he was going to write it by himself or with one of those guys or whatever.
Well, check it out, because it would be a lot of fun to have Fred on the show and then say, Fred, we've got a special guest.
No, God.
Here's somebody you haven't spoken to. And
I'm actually going to make some kind of effort to find Brendan Boyd.
I tried all around. I'm a pretty good researcher, and I couldn't even find a mention of him anywhere.
Does Fred Does Fred know where Brendan was born?
I think they're both. I think they were up in New Hampshire. I think they were New England states, if I'm correct. But
No,
we'll have to ask him about that.
Ask Fred when he was born, because where he was born. I mean, because that's always a good start. There are neighbors that might still be around, or kids of neighbors or whatever.
Yeah.
You start talking to them. Somebody might very well know, but that's where I would start.
Yeah. Well, and the week
And
after that, we'll have Jimmy Nicole on. We found him in South America. No, I'm just teasing. Right. That's one of my dream finds. But
like Gall and the Family Fair in Mad Magazine with Archie's old war buddy Dolph. Dolph, baby, where have you been all these years? Well, I've been alive and well and living in Argentina. Just like the old joke. How offensive was that? See, that was another thing. Could you imagine trying to get away with that now?
Yeah.
I mean, I've had family I believe I've had some family who were in concentration camps, and I still take it with the humor in which it was. That wasn't intended to offend anybody. It was intended to make people laugh, and it did. I thought just the idea that Archie would have Adolf Hitler as his old war buddy, it makes sense, right?
Right. It's great stuff.
It's absurd, but
it's absurd, but it makes great.
Do you remember that issue?
Yes, I do. I was a Mad Mag. I was addicted to the magazine. I still have. I think I still have mostly all the books.
Oh yeah, the books were great.
Books. I have
Al
them all.
Jaffe spews out snappy answers to stupid questions.
Yeah, that was.
Al Jaffe actually just died recently. He was 102, I think.
Yeah, he was very old. Yeah. That, I mean, all the the Cream magazines, Hit Parader, all that kind of stuff. I lived for every new episode, especially Cream. Cream, I was like,
maybe we need to find we need to find an editor. Well, actually, I had been talking to Ira Robbins from Trouser Press. About being a guest, and he said he would.
Great.
I'm gonna reach out to him. Actually,
it's cool stuff.
Try to set a date, because he'd obviously be very, very. He's a great guy, and he would be an interesting interview.
Well, I'll show you. Hold on 1 second. You like to run out of picture. I'm going to grab something quickly and show you. Hold on. Don't go away, everybody. David, talk to everybody.
Mark almost never goes away, so I'm not left to my own devices very often. But hopefully everybody out there is doing well. We're in case you joined us late. Yeah, this silly thing on my eye. I have to take blood thinners, so sometimes when I itch somewhere too hard, it pops a blood vessel. And anyway, sorry to offend, but
did you offend somebody?
Yeah, probably with this blotch over my eye, but
all right, we were just talking. My
face offends people in general, so maybe this is an improvement.
Al Jaffe is an astounding creator. How about those fold-ins? They aren't easy.
No, they were really amazing.
Well, real quickly, we talked about Cream magazine, which I was a big fan of, and Frank Sesich, our good friend from Blue Ash Days,
former guest,
and all former guest. He gave me his Boy Howdy can.
Oh, wow!
Now these Boy Howdies were never actually a manufactured drink of any sort. They just manufactured these stickers that they put on empty cans. But this is one of the originals that Frank was given from the Cream offices. So
really,
yep.
Well, here's the interesting thing. If that's an original, why does it have the newer form? What do you call those things on top where you?
It
doesn't have the pull, because back in the day, I believe they still were using the pull off things that would occasionally break off, and then you couldn't open the can.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't know what year.
Maybe that was the first. Maybe that was the first year, because I think it was the late '70s when they finally went to this version of the opener, which was obviously much less impervious to breaking. So
I just always assumed that this was an actual drink.
Yeah, I agree.
I never
did
knew. I never knew that it wasn't. But there you go. Boy, howdy, Cream Magazine. Dude, we've been on here for 2 hours again. Whenever we started the pre-show where you were talking, it's like, I got a couple things to talk about, and you're like, I don't have much of anything. Here we are 2 hours later, still yakking.
Oh, we can always digress. And
well, that was episode number 119, my friends, and it's just going to get better with the next episode, number 120, with Jim Stafford next Wednesday.
that's awesome. I can't
Hey,
wait.
thank you everybody for checking in. Yeah, it's hard to find me an issue of Mad. Thanks to all those foldings. Yep.
That's true.
And we thank everybody for checking in. We had some new people. We got somebody from Paris, France that checked in. That was awesome. Really great time tonight. And we'll come back in the future episodes down the road with some more Stump the Bash or song clips. We'll have a lot of fun with it. But
yes, now we'll see. I'll see you next Wednesday from Arlington, Texas.
Arlington.
Awaiting the start of the 3rd annual IPO Arlington.
Awesome. It's going to be great, man. So if you're down in that area, make sure you check in. Where's the venue?
It's Black Box 215.
Black Box 215.
Black Box 215, and I want to thank Alan Pecci and Victor Irwin and everyone at Spider Pop for hosting us each year.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it, and those guys treat all their guests so well. That's another. Arlington is another place that feels like family, just like Vancouver, because a lot of friends, and they're really good to me. So I appreciate that.
Thank you, Tim. Next week's going to be a lot of fun.
Always, Tim.
All right, everybody, have a great evening. Stay happy, healthy, grateful. We'll see you right back here, same time, same channel, Material Issues, next Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Way too late over in the UK.
5 p.m. Central, because that's where I'll be.
And way too late over in the UK, but we appreciate you sticking up late and hanging out with us.
Yes, Andy. Thank you.
See you, David. We'll see you next week, my friend.
You got it, Mark. Take care.